Artists try to capture the life of humans in not only a visual media, but also in a personal narrative detailing the characters themselves. And this is why I am going to connect Judith Butler's Gender Trouble and Judith Halberstam's In a Queer Time and Place to both Western and Eastern animations. In 2014, Rebecca Sugar created a new type of animation on Cartoon Network called Steven Universe. It follows the story of 13-year-old Steven as he tries to figure out his magical powers, being half magical gem and half human. What makes Steven as a character non-gender binary, in a sense, is that Steven not only feminine traits but also masculine traits that are strong in his personality. In one episode, Pearl describes Steven as crying earlier that morning about snakes. Steven's response was, "But they don't have any legs. That's so sad." Another aspect of Steven Universe that is gender non-binary or gender fluid is the character Stevani, which is the combination of two characters, Steven and Connie, Steven being masculine and Connie being feminine. Stevani as an individual is both masculine and feminine and is referred to as they because the character themselves is two people. Stevani is often depicted with long hair, but has also been seen having facial hair and not having to shave it. The gender is performative in this piece because all of the crystal gems are without gender at all and refer to themselves as she and herself. Pronouns also feature relationships between two different crystal gems at any one point. Two crystal gems who do this is Ruby and Sapphire, and Pearl, who is in love with Rose Quartz. All of these characters refer to themselves as she, her, herself pronouns. Another type of cartoon in Western culture that uses unorthodox gender is Bob's Burgers. Two featured characters, main characters, in fact, Linda and Tina, are both played by male voice actors. But both of these characters feature very feminine aspects and use not only the voice but also the comedians themselves for humor. Some aspects of both Eastern and Western animation and fan culture for these productions is a type of fan characterization of the personalities. One of this being in the animated series on Netflix, Voltron, where two characters, Lance and Keith, are featured as being in a relationship. However, the creators have not made it. They are not canonically in a relationship. However, before forming Voltron, Lance had a crush on Keith on Earth, and this is canon. This aspect of gender performance can even be seen across a different type of culture in Japan. In Assassination's Classroom, there is a character named Nagisa who is a male character but has to grow out his hair and sometimes dress as a girl because his mother, who abuses him, makes him do so. This makes him detest having long hair or anything that has to do with being girly. However, he's not hyper-masculinized. Instead, he only puts his hair up in pigtails and wears pants. This does not affect Nagisa's sexuality or gender identity. However, the character Nagisa was originally written as a girl, and this is why some of those aspects are featured in the animation itself. However, the climate in Japan is different when it comes to the LGBT community. Whereas it's acceptable to dress and act like a different sex than you were originally born with, different gender than you were assigned at birth, it is not acceptable to be homosexual. That is, to identify with a one gender and also be attracted to that same gender. It even goes so far as to have an animation which features two gay men who are in a relationship to be very vague. In Yuri on Ice, a critically acclaimed animation, the two main characters cannot even be seen kissing on screen, as this would be immoral in Japanese culture. Judith Butler describes gender as perhaps the construct called sex is a culturally constructed as gender. Gender can be neither true nor false, but are only produced as the truth effects of a primary and stable identity. Butler also states that gender is an identity tenuously constituted in time, instituted in an exterior space through a stylized repetition of acts. This can be seen in Japanese culture in the past as women who were the eldest in their family, who owned land, and whose fathers were samurai could actually train and become warriors themselves to protect their land or their village. They normally trained with the other men and were treated as such, even after being married or having children. Some styles of martial arts in Japan are made specifically for women, and in some cases, only women can practice them. This specialized martial arts is naginatas. This shows that Judith Butler's book, Gender Trouble, can be used in not only American culture, but a culture across the world. This has been Emily Janik, and thank you for listening.
All right.